It's a severe impact. A lot of people are experiencing severe medical symptoms, from chronic sinus, respiratory infections, asthma, that's worse than what it was before, or new cases of asthma, nausea, people vomiting spontaneously, sometimes when they get the gases, nosebleeds. For instance, my son last week, Friday afternoon, had an unstoppable nosebleed for an hour when the gases hit our home. We've gone to great expense at approximately 4,600 Rand an air purifier. We went and bought 3 of those. And those air purifiers run in our bedrooms at night, just to try and mitigate the symptoms or the impact it's got. A lot of people have been living with this for a long time, and a lot of people don't have the money to buy air purifiers. It's also not just this estate. There's a lot of people around the landfill site who are saying they're getting the same smells. Glen Austin, other suburbs, we're aware of people in Tembisa, Ivory Park, the very low income squatter camps, people who are suffering. A lot of people don't know where it's coming from, but they know they're getting sick. We are aware that there are other sources of air pollution, such as the sewage plant, and there's also another smell that we get, but that's been there for a while, and we believe it comes from a chicken factory, but it's not the potent chemical smell that we've been told by the DEA is coming from the Interwaste FG landfill site. I do, because I don't believe that the DEA would be prosecuting them maliciously. I have to believe that they've got the sufficient evidence to back up their claims. Last year, we did a submission to the Public Protector. We had in excess of 1,700 signatures, and we did a whole submission of evidence and other statistics that we collected. And we had a meeting at the Public Protector's offices with the DEA and GDOD, who issued the license, in October last year to discuss the situation. I expect the DEA to prosecute whoever is responsible for this to the fullest extent of the law. We want to see justice done. From Interwaste, unfortunately now I believe Mr. Wilcox says that 90% of their waste at this landfill site is domestic. That gives us no option but to expect that the landfill site be closed. Because if the cause of the pollution was other waste, non-domestic waste, we could have said, well, then just taking in domestic waste would be okay. But since the majority of the waste is domestic, and the DEA believes the smell is coming from the landfill site, we have to insist that the landfill site be closed. They absolutely have to rehabilitate it, and we want firm timelines that's going to be monitored and that they have to keep to resolve the problem. Because a landfill like that can emit gases for years into the future, and they have to stop that. They've got to take responsibility for what's happening there. It's sickening to see how they are happy to quote financial figures when people's health and lives are at stake. I don't want to hear how much money they're making and how it's putting their business at risk to close that landfill. We don't care.